Hello everyone, my name is Martin Linksfeld and I am Master Chef in foggykitchen.com. In this short video, I would like to explain how to enable Native POD networking inside OCI Container Engine for Kubernetes, also known as OCI. VCN Native POD Networking provides a new CNI plugin for Kubernetes cluster managed by OCI. This CNI provides pods with the IP address from VCN CIDR, resulting in the same network performance as virtual machines, with no additional overlay required. Your pods are routable within your VCN, between VCN, and with your on-premise network over Fast Connect or IPsec VPN. For the purpose of this exercise, I will use publicly available GitHub repo covering Terraform automation. Therefore, all elements will be deployed with Oracle Resource Manager. Okay, here is a topology diagram of our network, and as you can see, we have OCI deployed in one region within a one VCN. We have here 3 different subnets, and we have a dedicated subnet for worker nodes of OCI and for pods. So here's a CIDR, and here for each and every pod we can expect dedicated IP address from this pool, right? So this is exactly what we are planning to deploy, and now we can go directly to the code review. I am now in a local copy of my repository. Let me start the journey with network.tf file. As you can see, we are creating here VCN, all corresponding elements such as NAT gateway, internet gateway, route tables, security list, and so on and so on. Let me scroll down to the very end, and here we can see subnet, and this subnet will be both for nodes and for pods. This subnet is private, and the question is where we are using that. So let me move to oki.tf file. Here is a first resource, which is Container Engine cluster. And what is new in this configuration, you can check it in lines 15 up to 17. So we are defining the section cluster pod network options, and CNI type is equal to OCI VCN IP native. That is all what we need to do at bare minimum on the cluster level. Now let's scroll down to the Container Engine node pool. Here we have yet another section which is also essential, and this section is related to node config details. So in this part of the configuration, we are defining node pool pod network option details, right? Again, CNI type equal to OCI VCN IP native. Then we are defining maximum number of pods per node. It is essential because each pod will have native IP taken directly from the network pool. So maybe we would like to limit that. I'm not defining here dedicated NSGs for the pod, but of course I need to associate the subnet with my pod pool, right? So this is a pod subnet IDs. And here is a network. Here is a subnet I have created in a network.tf file. That is mostly all, but I would like to highlight also what I'm planning to do with the post-deployment stuff. So here's a template which is taken directly from templates. Right, so I'm defining here Nginx deployment. I'm defining also how many replicas will be deployed for this Nginx, and then I have this null resource which is responsible for deploying this template file into the OCI with kubectl apply command. After 2 minutes of sleep, I will get all of the pods created with kubectl get pods, and then I will run kubectl describe for pods to obtain IP addresses. I am expecting to see IP addresses which will be taken directly from our subnet subnet pool. So let me now go directly to the GitHub repository, and I will use deploy button in this repository. I am now in my GitHub repository covering our native pod networking scenario. Let me scroll down so we can see the IP addresses here. So let me scroll down to deploy to Oracle Cloud. Let me click on that. I will be immediately transferred to Create Stack Wizard. I'm pre-authenticated, so there is no question about my password and user. I have accepted terms and conditions. Let me change the compartment to my resource manager compartment. Then I will click next. So as you can see, I need to choose the availability domain for my deployment. How many nodes in my Kubernetes cluster? Let's start with 3. And now I will scroll down and I will choose how many, at max number of pods should be deployed per Kubernetes node. Let's start with 10. And I will click Deploy Nginx. And how many Nginx replicas? Let's say 5. So now I can click Next. And I can create the deployment, and let me pause the recording because Terraform apply job is on the way, and within few minutes we will have all of the components in place. It looks like the deployment is finished, so let me scroll down to the very end, and what you can see here is our deployment of Nginx. As you remember, we have decided to deploy 5 replicas. So kubectl get pods has given us 5 running replicas. And here we are also checking up the IP addresses of each and every pod and replica. So as you can see, we are using IP addresses from a pool which is 10.2.0.0. Let me go to our node pod subnet, and here is a CIDR 10.20.30, right? And this is exactly what we have here, right? So it looks like we have created native pod networking in this cluster and on those worker nodes. So let me go directly to the node pool. So as you can see here, network type is OCI VCN IP native, and we have a number of pods per node 10. And here is our subnet where pods will be communicating. And that is all for the moment, and now I can destroy the stack, and that concludes our session here. Thank you.